What's the scariest conspiracy theory you've ever heard? That there is no such thing as food-safe plastic. This is a regional one, but the idea that Robert Pickton, the pig farm serial killer, didn't act alone. The theory goes that the farm was a common party spot for the Vancouver Police Department and Hells Angels, and that was the reason he got away with it for as long as he did. Recently, he died in jail, and the families of his victims are furious he was not able to testify. There were also a lot of sketchy things to do with evidence. When you start looking, it's pretty convincing. Those Facebook memes of posting a current selfie and a photo of you taken 10 years ago is to program facial recognition software. Plants cultivate humans for the carbon dioxide. Insane whack job conspiracies purposefully get propagated to detract from actual shady shit that goes on. What's more, it fucking works. If you see someone even mention something might be a conspiracy, that person is automatically determined to be a lunatic. Dangerous when you consider just how corrupt government, military, and corporations are. Dark forest theory: we can't find any evidence of extraterrestrial life because the smart ones are hiding, and the dumb ones have been killed by something else. That arresting the people in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book would bring this world to a grinding halt because of how many disgusting rich people there are in power. That the South Korean prosecution office bullies people into committing suicide. Don't know if it's the scariest, but considering the current president openly admitted this IDK. The current social wars were designed to distract us from the trillions of dollars that went from the middle class to the wealthy. It will continue to happen while people fight over body parts and bedroom activities. The people almost broke through with Occupy Wall Street, but the PTB continue to divide people to make sure it can't happen again. My phone is always listening and paying attention to the things I say. There have been countless experiences where I have talked about something I have never even thought about before, and then within the day I see a post on my Instagram feed or an ad on Google about it. Nothing on our phones are truly private, and all of the information is shared and used in ways we may have simply unintentionally consented to. Shrimp is bugs. What's scarier than shadow governments and deep states pulling all the levers? That there aren't. It's nobody. We're all just a bunch of apes with opposable thumbs, and nobody knows what we're doing. NASA was behind the moon landings. Octopi are alien, and you can't convince me otherwise. Mofos came from a meteor or something. Their brain development rate compared to all other species is off the charts. The food we have been eating in the United States is a huge part of the mental illness going on today. Hot dogs and buns come in different numbers on purpose. Microplastics are making men infertile. Children of men OT-dub. That some examples of the Mandela effect are actually advertisements for a firm that can counter the Streisand effect for the ludicrously wealthy. That aliens exist, but we're the only dummies being loud because there's a bigger, scarier race of aliens out there that all the other races are hiding from. That the public school system sucks because it was deliberately designed to fail the kids, forcing them to shuffle off to the factories once their dreams are crushed at graduation. There's plastic in our blood, and every piece of tech listens to us. And nobody really cares. Boeing is killing whistleblowers. I hate the idea that the existence of the uncanny valley implies the existence of something that looks human but wasn't quite human, and we needed to fear it. Epstein didn't kill himself. Knowing that he and Ghislaine Maxwell were both convicted of sex trafficking, ask yourself this. Who were they sex trafficking people to? Who were the clients? The mattress mafia. I find the idea that powerful organizations are secretly manipulating global events the scariest. It's unsettling to think about how much control they might have. Dark forest theory. Any species capable of interstellar travel is capable of planetary obliteration, so it's safest to just eliminate any species that could develop the technology before they do. And there's no reason to believe we would be the first to develop interstellar travel. That governments allow events to take place so they can implement security restrictions. The riots in the UK and protests across the EU are allowed, possibly even encouraged. The citizens will demand order by any means necessary, and that's when the restrictions will come in. There is no witness protection program. The government prepares people to cut all ties, and then just kills them instead of relocating. That there's a spooky, scary skeleton inside my body. Elites create chaos and divide us so they can go on their merry way of exploiting everything. They are stoking black versus white, right versus left, straight versus gay versus trans, etc. to distract us from them pulling the strings. We have to stop all this bullshit and get to the real problem, which is all driven by money. Particularly where money and politics align. Hans Niemann did use a vibrator to cheat on chess. Dead internet theory, you fruit dispenser is all over this in this thread alone. Aliens infiltrated Earth long ago and are in hiding as humans to test our aggression and patience before invading. The parent companies of washer and dryer manufacturers also own the companies that make socks. That corporations constantly undermine our rights, our democracy and our ecosystem just so they can have slightly larger quarterly profit margins. There's a theory that your phone is secretly listening to you 24/7. I guess that's why my ads are always about cat food. My cat must be selling my secrets. LOL. When you get the extra crispy option at KFC, they add special batter to the outside of the chicken pieces that is made of discarded human foreskins. That the Holocaust wasn't an actual thing. To fundamentally see the history and mountains of evidence then be like ha 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 that didn't happen is just utterly terrifying to me. It opens the door for extreme denialism and for it to happen again out of sheer purposeful ignorance. It's not a conspiracy theory unless it comes from the conspiracy province of France. Otherwise it's just sparkling paranoia. That there's an island where the world's rich and powerful go to rape underage wait. When light bulbs were created, they lasted forever. Producers noticed that would be a limited business and engineered them to go out after a certain period so they could continuously sell them. That the stereotypical alien encounter, involving abduction, probing, and other experiments, are not aliens, but rather humans, from the future, coming back to try and figure out why we stopped being able to reproduce. Furthermore, that concludes that whatever brings about the potential fall of man has already begun. I came up with whether apps are paid by big tech to give slightly worse weather to keep people inside glued to their phones. That a cure for cancer and near-infinite energy sources have already been found, but are being kept in the dark by Big Pharma and Big Oil because there's too much money locked up in the system to let it get out. That questions like this get posted online by feds so they can aggregate popular or new conspiracies. That Australia actually exists. Think about it. Santa Claus theory. Let's just imagine it for a while. An old man who gives things to good children. Sounds like world control to me. The moon isn't real. That lord is really a 40-year-old man from Colorado. Humans were domesticated by wheat, though I'm not 100% sure that qualifies as a conspiracy. That our politicians aren't evil or corrupt at all. They actually think they are helping and this is literally the best they can do and they think they're doing a great job. In Rand McNally, people wear hats on their feet and hamburgers eat people. That half the population lived in a different dimension where the only discernible difference was the fruit of the Loom logo had a cornucopia and Sinbad was in a hit movie called Shazam. Freaky stuff.